Okay, so we're going to look at decimal models today. So I want to explain to you, and you're going to do a couple of these. But this looks similar to what we did for decimal multiplication, except for this is showing you 1 2/10. That's 1 whole and 2/10 in this model. 1 whole and 2/10 in that model. Okay, so it's not saying 1 2/10 times 2. What it is you have a total of 2 4/10, okay, because you add the two models together, and you're breaking it into two groups. And then you're giving your answer. When you add them all together, you get 2 4/10. When you break them apart, you get 1 2/10. So it's 1 2/10. 2 4/10 divided by 2 equals 1 2/10. Okay, so on these, you really have to just look at your answer choices when you're given them. But since we're just talking about division, we know that these are going to be division problems. Okay, look at this one. You have to look at how many are shaded. Sorry. You have to look at all of them that are shaded. That's 1 whole and 2/10. So I know 1 2/10 are shaded. And that it is broken into 1, 2, 3 groups. So now you have to look at how many are in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths. So my answer would be 0.4, 4 tenths. Or you could say 0.40, but since these are tenths, it's more likely that it would be tenths instead of hundredths. Okay. All right, so let's look at letter C. What do we have shaded? This whole model is 1/10, right? And this model is 15 hundredths. So we have to look at it and think, okay, how much is shaded? Or how much do we see? Okay, we see 10 and we see 5. So we have 15 hundredths total. And we're going to break it into 1, 2, 3 groups. So 15 hundredths divided by 3. And then to get my answer, I just look at one group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's not 0.5 because that would be 50 hundredths. You put 0.05 because there are 5 hundredths, not 50 hundredths. Okay, let's look at D. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 1 whole and 5 tenths divided by how many? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups, which equals how much? How much is in each group? Okay, that would be 4 tenths. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 tenths. I miscounted. 3 tenths. 1 tenth, 2 tenths, 3 tenths. Okay? All right. Now, let's look at E. How many do you see that are shaded? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 tenths shaded. And we're dividing it by how many groups? 3 groups. And then we're going to look at how many are in each group. That would be 3 tenths again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's look at F. Okay, this is like the very first one we did. You have to look at the whole picture first. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 whole models. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths. So we have 4 and 8 tenths. And we have it divided into 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. And then to get my answer, I just look at one group. So what would your answer be for this problem? Okay, 1 whole, 2 tenths, 1.2. All right, G. Okay, look at G and tell me how many you have shaded. How many do you have shaded? Okay, so if we count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus 8 is 16, plus 8 more is 24. So that's 24 hundredths shaded. And I have how many groups? Okay, 3 groups. So now look and see how many are in each group. Okay, each group has 0.08 because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 100 total blocks. Okay. All right. So H is different. So I'm going to get H started. Okay. You have to look at it as this being holes. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes. These are your tens. 1, 2, 3 tenths. And these are your hundredths, which are ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 6 and 39 hundredths divided by 3 different groups. Okay, so now look at it and see how much are in each group. Okay, so there's 2, 1/10, and 3 hundredths. 2 and 13 hundredths. All right. Okay, J. Okay, you should have marked 3 tenths because that's 5, 10, 5, 10, 5, 10. It's just shaded differently. So there's 30 shaded and divided into 3 groups. Okay, and there's 1/10 in each group. Okay, solve K. Okay, K is there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tenths divided into 3 groups, and there's 2 tenths in each group. Okay, let's solve L. Okay, L says there's 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, 9, 3 and 9 tenths divided into 3 groups, and there's 1 and 3 tenths in each group. Okay, all right. M. Solve M. Okay, M says there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4 tenths divided into 2 groups, and one group has 2 and 2 tenths in it. All right. Okay. Solve N. Okay. N has 1 whole, 2 whole, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tenths. So 2 and 6 tenths divided into 2 groups, and there's 1 and 3 tenths in each group. If you count all these up, that would be 50 and 50, it'd be 100. And this would equal 1/10, 2 tenths, 3 tenths. All right, O. Solve O. Okay, O has 35 hundredths shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. It is broken into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hundredths in each group. And finally, solve P. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tenths divided into 2 groups, and each group has 4 tenths inside. Okay, so it's a matter of just looking at the pictures and making sure that you understand how to break them apart. Next week we will have a review, and then we will also have order of operations with decimals next week and your next unit test. So any questions that you have on multiplying or dividing decimals, you need to make sure that you are asking them on Tuesday during our Google Meet, or you're sending me an email and we can set up a private Google Meet, okay? But you need to make sure you're asking those questions because I want you to do well on your unit test.